Namaste. I would like to welcome everyone to the webinar hosted by NIMSME on the topic Business Opportunities in Green Technologies Post COVID 19. I would request all the participants to keep their microphones on mute while a speaker is presenting to avoid unnecessary disturbance. The question and answer will be at the end of the webinar. To ask a question, please send the question along with the name of speaker to the moderator privately on the chat. We have invited two experts and one in-house faculty speaker for today's webinar. Without any further ado, we invite our first speaker, Colonel Dr. T.S. Surendra, Advisor, Surbi Institute of Renewable Energy. Dr. Surendra possesses wide-ranging experience in the Army, solar PV industry, manufacture and system integration, and the academia. Dr. Surendra is a regular resource person for PV-related training at NSIC, RECIPMT, NIMSME, and engineering colleges. Dr. Surendra has been certified as a master trainer by the Skill Council of Green Jobs. Sir, you may please proceed with your session now. Surendra, sir, you may
I'm going to
proceed
share
with this session, sir.
I'm going to share my presentation.
Yes, sir.
Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Well, I'm going to talk to you about solar PV. My focus is going to be on solar PV, green technology. Yes, I think Dr. Koteshwar Rao is going to give you a complete overview later on. Dr. Ramchandra is expand on what I'm saying, his vast experience. I'm going to talk about solar PV. The focus is on solar PV. So I've structured my talk in about 7 or 8 modules. User introduction. I'll talk to you about achievements in the RE, that is the renewable energy sector so far. What is the impact of COVID-19 outbreak on the solar PV sector? And what is the support extended by our government? What's our outlook near term and long term? After all, it's going to take some time to get out of the present imbroglio. But we're going to do it. What are the trends and technologies that hold promise? Plenty of them I can assure you. I'm going to talk to you about general trends, macro to micro. Today, you see margins are squeezed, especially for module manufacturers. Obviously, there have to be some differentiators. They have to sell their goods. You'll have to maximize efficiency, at the same time reduce costs. This, what we believe, is the imperative paradigm. I'll talk to you about PV cell and module technologies. Current, I mean, very briefly, because I have about half an hour or so. PV cell module technologies, current, what the future holds for us. Yeah, trends in manufacturing and battery storage. Battery storage suddenly assumed critical significance, especially for grid-tied systems. Floating solar systems, that's the next best thing they say. What are the government programs? Back to encourage everyone, all the entrepreneurs, startups, and so on. The government programs, whether it's for solar power plants, Kusum for solar pumps, so on. Finally, of course, I conclude. You see, what are the green technologies? Could be tidal power, could be geothermal installations, shown here, or whatever derives from solar radiation. Could be through sensible heating, solar PV or solar thermal, thermal energy conversion. Could be through latent heat, potential energy, hydropower, wind, and so on, through kinetic energy, through photosynthesis or biofuels, Our focus is going to be on solar PV. You see here in 2015, the government announced a target of 175 gigawatts cumulative renewable power to be installed by the year 2022, 100 gigawatts of which was solar. A capacity of 85.9 been set up so far as on 31st December 2019, which constitutes more than 23% of the overall picture. India, I believe, has the fourth and fifth global positions, solar and wind. And since 2013-14 till December 2019, renewable power deployment has more than doubled. Actually, more than 10 million man days employment is being created in the sector. Capacity is increased by 14 times last 5 years, from about 2006-30 to 37.5 gigawatts.
Surendra sir,
Yeah,
your voice is a little lower, sir.
okay. My voice is lower, is it?
Yes, sir. Now it's fine, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Somebody has given an annotation request. What
Yes,
is
sir.
that?
Uh, I request the participants, please not to disturb the speaker and not to try any extra buttons here, please.
Okay. You see the breakdown out of the total, we said 368 gigawatts, 63% by thermal, in fact, and 23% renewable energy, as you can see here, 85.9 gigawatts. 12% have hydro and 2% nuclear. They say voice is not audible. Let me try this one second. Amaya,
Yes, sir.
let me see if this helps. Is it better now?
Yes, sir.
Is it any better?
Yes, sir. I request the participants, please raise your speaker volumes also. Thank you. You may proceed, sir.
You see, I've got a small window which is not going away, covering a part of my, says MN,
Yes,
yourself.
sir.
There's a small window which is obstructing my view. How do I put this off?
Uh, I can't help you from this side, sir. Uh,
A small window coming on my presentation. See if I can. Okay, sorry. 5 days before lockdown, Minari had announced about 31 gigawatts of solar capacity at various stages of, in fact, tendering, apart from 21 gigawatts under deployment. 70,000 people were employed in the construction of this pipeline alone. So 100 gigawatt target for solar 2022 seemed well on track at one point of time before the COVID-19. Now seems to be in some jeopardy. I'm sure with the policy interventions, this can be circumvented. Almost all the solar manufacturing and project development have come to a halt during the lockdown period. Energy demand significantly dropped following lockdown, and most projects operating at 50 to 55%. then you're all aware India is dependent on China for almost 80% solar cells, modules, components. So this has hit the industry quite hard. Of course, China have now resumed supplies. The case we are trying to make is high time India stood on its own feet, on their own feet. Make in India has to be given a very big push. Because what is our indigenous manufacturing capacity? 3 gigawatts. This, as you know, is hopefully low to meet our requirements. Just as a matter of interest, statistics, imports declined by 70% Jan 2020 as compared to Jan 2019. The worst affected sector has been the rooftop sector. All companies are likely to suffer. Big companies, well, they have the financial muscle, 25% of them. Small people may even exit business unless government comes in with a package. The rupee depreciation also poses another problem. Then MRRE, I think I've rose to the occasion, I've asked discoms to make payments to RE producers on regular basis. The RE generators have been accorded must-run status. They've been termed, in fact, categorized as essential services. In fact, the Ministry of Power already prepared a package to infuse liquidity into state distribution companies so that the generators are paid. Because we are all aware, okay, some discoms, are unable to collect dues during the lockdown period. But now MNRE has been kind enough to extend project deadlines. They've also extended the ALMM, approved list of models and the manufacturers. The government has given a directive to all the ports not to levy penalties, solar goods stuck in the ports due to restrictions on transportation during lockdown. They've also set up an interim task force to resolve issues relating to force majeure clauses, time limit claims, generation curtailment, payment from discoms, logistic delays, debt and liquidity issues. Of course, protection of welfare of workforce involved, construction and O&M activities. Yeah, COVID-19 has been, of course, a significant black swan, impacted the world energy transition. So for the business as usual scenario, come back may take 2 or 3 quarters. But then opportunity is certainly looking up for all the entrepreneurs, startups, and other people who like to enter the business. China, of course, has resumed supplies. MNRE's response is happening. So I believe they should scale up. Biggest opportunity today is for the solar industry to become self-reliant, not be dependent on other countries such as China. This is a great opportunity to make in India. India needs to set up, augment, manifold its own facilities, cell, module manufacture, POS manufacture, like inverters. This would create huge job opportunities. Yeah, business as usual scenario is going to take a while. As you can see, the breakdown cost of solar, let's say power plant, 45% for modules, even less today, 10% inverter switchgear, transformer, 7% structure, and so on, as you can see here. Conduit wiring, fitting, shipping, drilling, management, drawing, installation, and so on. I think the entrepreneurs can focus on any activity. So if you look at what other opportunities are there, rural electrification. Rural electrification, we talk about lighting, water pumping, healthcare, education, entertainment, and so on. Water pumping, treatment systems. We already talked about pumping for irrigation and drinking water, salt water desalination, healthcare systems, vaccine refrigeration. We talked about that already. Yes, for COVID-19, they come up with a vaccine for the rural areas. Well, you know where to store it. Communications, radio reporters, radio repeaters, remote TV and radio. Agriculture, we talked about irrigation, pumping, livestock. Some more opportunities in grid connected applications. Government have announced 100 gigawatts. Transport aids, security systems, erosion protection, income generation, electric power for satellites. So I think the opportunities are there everywhere. And the government 100 gigawatt solar power target by 2022. The sectors being targeted are residential, commercial, industrial, and institutional. Of course, rooftop solar PV 40 gigawatts, we said, solar parks 20 gigawatts, the entrepreneurs and unemployed graduates 20 gigawatts, ongoing programs at 20 gigawatts. Various incentives are there, interest subvention, accelerated depreciation, subsidies, feed-in tariff, and so on. I think opportunities are galore. Then if India has to meet this target of 175 gigawatts, you have to step up the gas in terms of installation. You have to beef up our facilities. You require more EPC contracts. That's where the market is. But then this will also involve skilling. A lot of skilling required, training required. So you'll have to train a lot of men. So this would give a fillip to the trainers already there. Skill development, skilling institutes. And all this, of course, would translate to enhanced job opportunity. This is a great opportunity to make in India. With support from the government, at the center, and states. After all, China is what it is today only with government support in terms of financing and favorable. And so I think big ticket manufacturers can start, especially Ani, Azure, Tata Solar, Indra, Reliance, and so on. India will also be able to meet her climate change obligations. But India will have to keep in step, sync the fast changing technology scenario. You have to adapt to state of the art manufacturing techniques, processes, techniques. You have to set up, we have to set up requisite research facilities educational and research materials, processes. You have to encourage entrepreneurs.
I request all the participants, please keep your microphones on mute. Mr. Vinay Kumar, you may proceed, sir.
Encourage and support startups to the hilt
Yes.
in terms of innovative testing, monitoring devices, and monitoring protocol. Then the question would come, where will all the money come from? Well, the government of India, also through MNRE, READER, banks, state nodal agencies, Department of Science Technology, can extend soft loans with, of course, moratorium repayment or ballooning repayment, bullet repayment, interest subvention, any number of these help or support. GOI, the Government of India, could negotiate line of credit on very favorable terms. The international funding agencies, right, such as the World Bank, AFW, so on. All this may take time, could be a temporary fund crunch. Things are expected to improve. The macro trends, opportunities for all, revamping and repowering. When you say revamping, after all, PV systems have been installed years and years ago, 25, 30 years ago. So obviously, some subsystems, some components will be malfunctioning, right? So these could be replaced, some things could be re-engineered, some of them could be off-spec. So here is an opportunity for revamping and repowering. Utility scale storage. Today, when you talk about grid connected systems, storage is important, as in fact assumed in significance. Storage plus grid connection. Obviously, battery technologies have got a lithium ion, flow batteries, sodium ion. In fact, some party in India, in collaboration with somebody in UK, set up the sodium ion. Hybrid systems, already we hear of wind, solar, biomass, so on. This is where someone who doesn't want to go and soil his hands, the field, digitalization, which means big data analytics, artificial intelligence, IoT, Internet of Things, connected small objects, robotics, cleaning impact panels. I think Dr. Ramchandra will say more about it, and drones for monitoring performance, blockchain, especially when you're trading power and so on, mobile 5G and wireless connectivity, 3D printing and cloud, and low cost computing. From blockchain to drones, digitalization transforming the energy industry. So it can help bridge the shortcomings of the traditional grid, enable regular consumers to trade energy, where blockchain comes. Digitalize the O&M in solar plants, make these significantly more efficient. People are talking about variable solar, miniaturized solar is embedded, maybe woven into the textile. now about apart from 158.75 millimeters, 161.7 millimeters, 166 millimeters, and 210 millimeters. People are talking about 500-watt model. Microgrids, artificial intro, and using the machine learning capability, AI. So this has become the in thing today, AI, various things. When you talk about technologies, you're all aware of this. PV module is silicon-based and non-silicon. Silicon, of course, could be in crystalline silicon, could be monocrystalline silicon or polycrystalline. I will not go to details. Thin film could be amorphous silicon or multi-junction. And today we are talking about heterojunction. This was pioneered by Sanyo long back. They talked about HIT cells, heterojunction with intrinsic thin layer. HIT. So means they have a microcrystalline silicon layer sandwiched between two amorphous layers. This gives very high efficiency. So today, in fact, a lot of effort is going to heterojunction. That could be the next best thing. So there are opportunities for all of you here. This is traditional, wafer or cell or module and so on. So the question comes, what are the significant trends today? You all hear of PERC, passivated emitter, rear contact monocrystalline cells. Gives you a higher efficiency because it reduces recombination. This used in conjunction, what is known as TOPCon, another way of passivating, introducing two other thin layers. Heterojunction we've talked about, Sanyo, Panasonic. Now, of course, that the patent has expired. Many people have jumped onto the bandwagon. China, Hungary, Italy, Japan, Russia, Taiwan, USA, Singapore. Just name it, they're there. This is to give you an idea of passivation that comes into play. Now, people today are talking about bifacial modules. So you can generate power from the front side,
ఇప్పుడు ఇప్పుడు
also
వస్తుందా
from the rear side.
అదే వస్తుంది ఏం కలకలేదు
How rear side? Rear side because you get the albedo
Sorry.
reflection from the ground. So both sides. The result, front power could be 430, integrated power could be 530. Efficiencies are 20.5 to 24.25. See, this is a traditional sand, convert to metallurgical grade silicon, right? From that you go to ultra pure, like silane, trichlorosilane, and then to silicon feedstock for heat. So what I'm trying to bring out here is, ultimately you end up using 10 times more than needed material. Now people have said, why not from this place, short circuit everything, directly deposit enough pure silicon for light absorption. How do you do that? Hot wire, chemical vapor deposition, growth protection. So this is the trend these days. Use less material, use cost, increase efficiency. Yeah, my presentation will be incomplete if I don't mention perovskite. Right? It is methyl ammonium lead halide. It's just one form. We later iodide. This is going to be the future, I believe. So business opportunity exists here for manufacturing, testing, or even entering into collaboration with partners. So the advantages are numerous here. Very high absorption coefficient, excellent charge carrier transport, high open circuit voltage, low manufacturing costs. But then there's always a downside, which have to be addressed first. Stability issues, toxicity issues. Because you're talking about lead toxicity. problem of scaling. So, but these are being addressed in research labs, the places. Very soon, we're going to hear a lot more about perovskite in India as well. You have a host of other technologies, dye sensitized solar cells, quantum dot solar cells, graphene based solar cells, tandem solar cells, which means combination of perovskite and CIGS, copper, indium, gallium disulfide, perovskite and silicon, so on. We are talking about organic solar cells. So, anybody interested in the details, you're welcome to contact me. I can give you the references, even explain it to you if you're interested. So, the solar PV industry is experiencing plenty of changes across the entire value chain in terms of manufacturing, modules, materials, applications, O&M, decommissioning, and end-of-life management. The new areas of application, apart from floating solar, is what is known as BIPV, that is building integrated photovoltaics. Solar trees. Solar trees is an interesting concept. You have column and then you have stems, you have panels. They avoid shading. I think they call it phyllotaxy architecture. Solar power desalination, carports, agrophotovoltaics. What is that? Crops are grown under the PV arrays. Yield is more. Power is generated, you can feed to the grid. So what happens? Farmer earns more. It's all farmer centric. O&M space, smart plant monitoring. I talked about IoT, so many things. So I think digitalization is important. And for power plant forecasting, IoT is a trend gaining wide acceptance together with attempts for better and standardized communication. We talked about end of life management of PV, right? You have to think of novel methods, reduce use of materials, also avoid, somehow mitigate degradation, how to reuse, recycle the module. Right? This is in fact gaining a lot of momentum. So in summary, post lockdown, it may take 2 to 3 quarters for some semblance of normalcy to be restored in terms of supply chains, workers' mobilization, all gone away, they have to be mobilized. You have to raise finances. Government have to be little more liberal. You have to get around bottlenecks. You have to strategize partnership, collaboration. You have to get government approval, clearing backlogs. It looks stupendous, but I think government are out there to help. I heard the PM talk today about 20 lakh crore package. So I think once this transition is made, then we get to the business as usual for all manufacturers, system integrators, contractors. And business opportunities will abound, as I told you. Setting up facilities by entrepreneurs, component manufacture apart from cell and rendering software solutions, design, PV plant performance monitoring, testing, EPC of power plant. Just name it, it's there. Of course, Government of India have announced ambitious targets for RE capacity addition. So there's ample opportunity for all of us. Wind and solar generation, energy, and of course, due to problems of intermittency, fluctuations, and so on, battery energy storage has become very important. For PV as well as for your electric vehicles. So battery technology, batteries, one other area where entrepreneurs and startups can address their minds. So they say business opportunities are there for the asking. Solar plus storage we talked about. National Solar Mission we talked about. Scope for all these places, lanterns, pumping systems, solar powered refrigerators, e-cycles, e-auto rickshaws, battery management systems. And then of course, 20 lakh farmers to be given solar power, solar pumps. That's the PM Kusum program. So the farmers set up the solar power generation capabilities. We talked about agri PV. They can also sell part of the grid. As a young citizen of India, armed with technology and love for my nation, I realize small aim is a crime. As entrepreneurs, startups, business people, think big, dream big. That is what Dr. Kalam had said. So I think India is poised for the big leap. Green technologies, particularly solar. Business, business opportunities. We talked about almost every sphere, every facet, right from research to installation, operation, maintenance. So I think it's time for entrepreneurs, startups, all of us, gird up our loins, embark on this fascinating travel, green technology. Mind you, India is looked upon with great respect world over for our initiatives in green technology. Yes, Bharat Ratna Abdul Kalam's quote I used. What next? Good news or bad news is I finished.
Thank you, sir.
You-
Now, I would like to invite our second speaker, Mr. N. Ramchandra, Associate Professor in EEE Mr. Ramchandra is a certified solar energy trainer from Skill Council for Green Jobs (SCGJ), approved by National Skill Development Corporation, Government of India. Mr. Ramchandra has 10 years experience in teaching and 8 years in research and development. Sir, you may please proceed with your session now.
Yeah. Thank you, Soumya. Just I will share my presentation. Yeah. Is it clear, Soumya?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, very good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank the NIMSME for giving this opportunity. Also, congratulate conducting this webinar on a very good topic, business opportunity and green technologies post-COVID. I can see in the list about 90 plus participants are there. I can recognize some of the participants, which includes students as well as some professors, Dr. Sridhar, Dr. Koti Reddy Garu, as well as some system integrators also I can see. So I'll take the maximum 15 minutes from my side. So based on this topic, maximum I try to give information. I'll continue. So coming to the business opportunities in green technologies, those who are already there in the business, so please don't worry. Just I'll start with this quotation. So for people in business, this year 2020 is really just a year for staying alive. Don't even talk your dreams or plans. Just make sure you stay alive, then you would have made a profit already. So that is 2020. So we already got a profit. We are healthy. So that is what my intention. Yeah. So coming to the business opportunities on this green technologies post COVID, I'm going to discuss these topics. So this is a very good opportunity for all of us, even for students, professors, as well as system integrators. So this is a wake-up call for solar industry and need to set up more manufacturing facilities in India. So this is what somebody creating some disturbance. Yeah, please mute yourself.
Yes, sir. I'll check.
Yeah. The second one, MNRE is going to promote local manufacturing and developing export hubs for green energy technologies. So issued by MNRE.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. Kote Reddy Buttukuri, please keep your microphone mute or else you will be expelled from the meeting.
Yeah, yeah.
You may proceed.
From your side, you can mute, madam.
Kote Reddy, Kote Reddy,
Yeah,
Kote Reddy Buttukuri.
it's okay. Hope I can continue. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
coming to these opportunities, this is the wake up call for solar industry need to set up more manufacturing facilities as well as MNRE is going to promote local manufacturing in a very big way and developing export hubs for green energy technologies particularly and electric vehicle demand could be hit and energy storage and charging infrastructure in India by 2025. Very small mistake is there. So demand for domestic products increased after China's COVID-19 incidents related to green technologies. This also I will elaborate. So solar power can improve healthcare in rural India. So this is the decision taken by Government of India actually. So as government is focusing to double the capacity for milk processing in country by 2025. So this will open up new opportunities for clean energy technologies as well. More focus on domestic manufacturing of components like solar cells, wafers, lithium-ion batteries, inverters, motors, etc. So, Colonel Dr. T.S. Surendra sir already discussed a few points. So it make me somewhat easy to explain myself. Just look at this particular slide. This is just a glance for all India power sector. So power sector as on 24th April 2020. So I mean to say that as on today we have installed capacity 370 gigawatt in India. Just look at this statistics. So central sector is contributing about 25% and state sector is contributing 27%. Private sector is contribution is almost 46.8%. So this, if you consider last 10 years back, the private sector contribution is only 25%. Now it is increased to 46%. So now we are expecting in a couple of years, next 4 to 5 years, this percentage is going to increase 60 to 70%. So here we can grab more and more opportunities in the private sector. So coming to this source-wise installed power system, so renewable energy at present we have 23%. So in that, if you consider particularly solar capacity is increased in the last 5.5 years. So before 5.5 years, it is only 2.6 gigawatt. Now it is increased to 34 gigawatt by April month. So now in India, we have almost 34 gigawatt installed solar capacity. And this is going to increase in next 2 years. By 2020, we have a target to increase 100 gigawatt. Yeah. So this is the just forecasted energy by 2030. So this is the likely installed capacity by the end of 2030. So we are expecting to increase the installed capacity by 831 gigawatt. So this is the forecasting by CERA, Central Electricity Regulatory Authority. And in this particular, we are expecting to increase the solar itself by 300 gigawatt. So just think about now we have only 34 gigawatt, and this is going to increase by 300 gigawatt by next 10 years. So that much potential is there for India. And coming to this particular slide, so this is the wake up call for to set up wake up call for solar industry need to set up more manufacturing facilities in India. So India has set an ambitious target of adding 100 gigawatt of solar energy by 2022 and so far achieved by 34 gigawatt. Now due to this COVID-19 pandemic has been a wake up call for the domestic solar industry as it is heavily dependent on imports, but domestic manufacturing can be sustained only if there is a profitability. So here I would like to discuss. So actually, about 80 to 90% solar materials we are importing from other countries, majority from China. So during this COVID period, all the import exports have been stopped. Now, domestic solar panels or whatever the things, now domestic demand is increasing day by day. So as much as 80% of the demand solar cells modules met by imports from Chinese companies. So therefore, the imposition of work restriction by China due to this corona, so all the materials have been stopped. The developers are facing a shortfall of raw materials, which is going to affect the installations in the first half of the coming year. So now already few companies opened. Now they are trying to install the solar system, but they not able to get the materials like inverters. There are no inverters are available in the market. Panels, we have some panel assembling unit. We have panels, but inverters, other materials are not available. So COVID-19 pandemic is indeed a wake-up call for the solar industry as the sector has been severely impacted due to the shortage of not just cells and modules, but also other auxiliary products. Here we have the what you can say, we have cables, we have other materials, all the BOS, balance of systems also shortfall. So where we can concentrate more manufacturing facilities. So this calls up for setting up more manufacturing facilities in India. Now consider the electric vehicle market segment in India. Yeah, post-COVID, the global electric vehicle and electric vehicle infrastructure market is projected to reach 4.18 million units by 2021. And this has been estimated by 3.42 million units requirement by 2020 this year. That is going to increase by 4.18. At a CAGR, that is compounded annual growth rate of 22.1%, and India is expected to be a significant contributor to this growth. So there is a huge demand for electric vehicle components. And as per the latest Harvard report uh, of the adverse effect of air pollution, particularly the PM 2.5 emitted from IC engines on COVID-19 patients, is an eye opener. So based on this, actually we are moving towards electric vehicle. So giving the upcoming new normal era, consumer focus on sustainable mobility options, preference of sensible priced electric two-wheelers and three-wheelers and public transport, etc. Just look at this particular site. This is sourced from Post and Surveillance Research Consulting report. So here you can see the market size of EV components industry in India by 2025. So this electric vehicle value chain in India is expected to reach $4.8 billion by 2025. Here I can just considering four components majorly. So whatever the electric vehicles we are talking now, so majority here also 80 to 90% components we are importing from other countries. There are no components manufacturing in India. Well, yesterday you can hope you all of you listen the Prime Minister Modi words. So he clearly mentioned that local manufacturing is very important, and we are going to encourage more and more local manufacturing. So here you can consider the electric motors, batteries, power electronics, and charging stations. This is the expected business opportunities in there in India. Here you can see the key trends. One third of the EV motor market will emerge from demand in EV buses in India by 2025, and 67% will be the passenger car segment share by battery market by 2025. Uh, Hope I am audible. Yes. Hello.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. 15
Yeah, you
point.
are audible.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. 15.6 million kilowatt hour will be the total demand for lithium ion battery pack by 2025. So even if you consider the lithium ion batteries, we are maximum importing from other countries. Now, the few companies they started in collaboration with other countries like Amar Raja Batteries and IOCL. Even recently, this Gulf Oil Corporation also collaborated with some other company. They started the lithium ion manufacturing. So very big demand is there in next couple of years. So there we can concentrate. And 61% will be the two-wheeler vehicle segment share in the power electronic market by 2025. So here we can concentrate as a researchers, system developers, even students also you can concentrate on making the some controllers, charge controllers, some charging stations. So you can put whatever the technology you have learned, you can start a startup, then you can continue. So there is a big market in India. So coming to the solar plus storage segment to see major boost in renewable energy market. Coming to the storage system. So at present, we are concentrating on only grid connected system. Whatever the 34 gigawatt as and today I told, so 90%, 99% is the grid connected system. But the new trend is came, solar plus storage systems we can see in future. So government has a policy focused towards solar plus storage systems, is also seen through hybrid policy in place. And the recent award of the renewable energy project comes storage capacity. So yesterday also, I think Renew Renew Power. Renew Power, they got almost 1.5 megawatt solar plus storage system from SECI project. In this, in the next 6 months to a year, a lot of focus would shift to grid independent system. So whatever we are talking about the DC microgrid or microgrid systems, so the solar plus storage systems are going to play a major role. The role of storage systems in the form of technologies such as solar plus storage will be a huge, and there is likely to be a boom in the rural or off-grid solar systems. So particularly in rural sector, this solar plus storage systems is a very good option. Yeah, a few days back, actually 1 week back, I have just gone through some papers expecting financial package for MSMEs announced by Nitin Gadkari. So that time he told serious discussion is going with the Prime Minister to announce the package. So luckily yesterday got the announcement from the Prime Minister giving 20 lakh crore package. And today by 4:30 now our finance minister also going to elaborate on that. So particularly if you consider MSME sector, which contributes 29% of the country's growth and 48% to the exports, is a major employment generator, small MSME sector. And in this MSME sector, our NIMSME also will help to those who are going to set up a startup companies, etc. So there is a serious thinking in the government trying to give good package and all these things. And you can see this right side, best time to bring business to Telangana state by KTR. So during last week, some teleconference, he discussed with European industries bodies. And we are expecting almost 300 plus companies going to shift from China. Majority of the companies coming to India. Yeah. So actually the real development starts now in India. Up to now, majority of the components in the green technologies particularly.
Sir,
We are unable to hear anything.
Ramchandra sir,
Hello.
I request the
Hello.
participants, please keep your microphones on mute. Ramchandra sir.
80 to 90% the systems we are doing. So till now we are getting the components from other countries and we are doing assembling. But now, so we have to do, sorry, hope now it is audible. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, madam. So based on this 20 lakh package, actually now we have to develop the technologies. So till now we have done only assembling units, bringing all the components from other countries. Now actually we need to develop so local. So we have to create a local manufacturing units. We have to set up local manufacturing and we have to develop everything. So actually here just I want to say necessity is the mother of invention. So everybody knows. Now actually real actual time to start all the innovation in India. So this is the time we have to concentrate to develop our own products for ourselves. Yeah, coming to the India, just to concentrate on energy economy. India is the world fifth largest energy economy and ranked third on renewable energy sector. If you look at the energy economy, India is rated for fifth position and third on the renewable energy sector. So first is USA, followed by Brazil, then India is the third position. So as a global population, we are becoming more environment conscious, but with the demand for energy increasing, it's important to highlight the economics which are leading the way for revenue, but also employment and renewable energy production. So there is a big demand for India. Now coming to this particular slide, just I want to highlight here MNRE to promote local manufacturing exports of for renewable energy sector. So particularly just last 1 week back, they had a meeting and they concentrating. So why I am keeping this particular slide is up to 2011, if you consider those who are in the solar industry. So up to 2011, we used it to export the solar panels to other countries. So from 2011 to 2020, so Prime Minister Modi kept a target of 100 gigawatt of solar installation. So then we are trying all the panel manufacturing. We have importing and we are installing the systems because a big target. Now the time has come, so we need to concentrate on cell manufacturing, module manufacturing, like charge controller, all other BOS, all other balance of systems. We have to develop our own because majority of the Chinese companies also they wanted to shift to India, particularly in green energy technology. So all the states and ports are requested to identify land parcels of 50 to 500 acres for setting up renewable energy manufacturing and export services hub. Third, this is by MNRE Secretary Anand Kumar. So here one more clarification for you all. Somebody have maybe having the doubt. Those who are doing already system integration, so they may be having the doubt. As you can see the last para. So as per the Economic Times report, government has no plans to slash its target of achieving 175 gigawatt of renewable energy in the country by 2022. So there is no compromise on the target due to this corona or COVID-19, whatever you can say. So there is no compromise at all. So this target we need to achieve. So there is no compromise from the government sector. So that is the reason now yesterday Prime Minister also given very good package to manufacture all this. We have very good opportunities in future. Now you can see this particular slide. Demand for domestic products increased after China's COVID-19 incidents. Since last 2 to 3 months, actually, in China, almost it is started around December, January. So from December, January, all the exports are closed down. So we are facing lot of problem getting the materials. So whatever the available materials in India and domestic materials now having a very good demand. This demand is increased last 2 to 3 months in all the sectors, uh, similar to green energy technologies also. Yes, the demand for domestic products have increased tremendously after China's COVID. However, the industry is also facing shortage of raw material as compared to the demand. And policy reformations and initiatives like Make in India are truly creating a conducive environment for manufacturing growth. So domestic manufacturers have got a great push for supply of its products across the nation. So we can have major facilities. So just 1 minute, I'll close here. So with this, this is my last slide. Just I'll close with this quotation. So our development of photovoltaics is something that I feel a mission, just not technical or scientific research. So I believe it is the only energy source that can save mankind in 21st century. You can also look on this particular thing. Everybody having some ideas. India, we have 1.3 million population. Everybody should having ideas, but you don't get rich for having ideas. You get rich making them a reality. So at least we can do at least one idea into reality. So that is sufficient to establish the business. So thank you for giving this opportunity, Soumya.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Now, I would like to invite Mr. J. Koteshwara Rao, Associate Faculty Member, School of Enterprise Development. Mr. Rao specializes in industrial waste management, e-waste treatment technologies, recycling of waste in MSMEs, alternative energy sources, waste to wealth projects. Sir, you may please proceed with your session.
Very good afternoon.
Yeah, audible, sir.
Very good afternoon. Very good afternoon, each one of you. Greetings from the NIMSME. We hope your families and all you are staying safe while getting used to the unique challenges that the health pandemic has brought about the COVID world. In this regard, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to the Ramchandra sir, Nirudi sir, and Dr. Colonel, Dr. Surendra sir.
Yeah, thank you.
And I would like to go for some other innovative way. What is the recent trends in the green technologies together for sustainable future? That is the presentation I would like to highlight over here. Let's come to what do you mean? Define about the what is green technology? It is a technology which is environmentally friendly, developed and used in such a way so that it does not disturb our environment and conserve natural resources. It is also known as environmental technology or also known as a clean technology. Let us define the word. What do you mean green technology? Green technology, it is a system innovative method to create an environmental friendly products. It uses renewable natural resources that never depletes. So future generation can also benefit from it. It can effectively change waste pattern and the production in a way that it won't harm to the planet.
Sir, your voice is not audible right now.
I think there is some problem.
It's
Now it's
audible
okay,
now, sir.
Soumya?
Yes,
Now
sir.
it's okay?
Yes, sir.
1 minute. My presentation, sorry for disturbance. My presentation is somewhere stuck out. We'll call upon our Anil.
In the meantime, I request all the participants, please gather up your questions from the past two speakers till now and send me the questions privately on the chat.
Okay, Soumya, is it audible for you?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Yes, yeah. Sorry for the interruptions. There is some slides there. Goals of green technology. Goals of green technology. There are totally five types of goals we would like to highlight over here. Reduce, recycle, refuse, renew, responsibility. Today evening, I would like to highlight these 5 concepts. What do you mean reduce? How we are going to recycle the products? How we are going to refuse the material? How we are going to renewing the matter? How we are going to take individual responsibility for the goals of green technology. Let's come to the 7 R's of green technology. Let us come to point one by one. Resources, replace, reduce, reliable, repair, reuse, recycle. Environmentally consciousness, electronics, energy, these all are play the vital role here. The 7 R's green technology. Goals of green technology, number 1, reducing. The fast, due to dwindling forces of the renewable energy resources, the fuels, waste, energy consumption, wastage of clean water, whatever the discharges from the various industrial sector, MSMEs, where the Hyderabad is the pharmaceutical hub, where the pharmaceutical intermediate drugs manufacturing units are more than the 450 number of units are existing in the Telangana state. It leads to cause wastaging of the wastewater as well as waste residues. We're coming to the second part, recycling. Paper, plastic, cans, tins, batteries, and clothing, whatever the waste materials, is it possible for us? We need to go for recycling options. If not possible, that will be directly sent for the secure landfilling aspects. This is one kind of plastic bottles where the throw it away concept is going to be existing in the market, in the society. So we would like to utilizing as a Sprite bottle and Coca-Cola, Sprite bottles and whatever the waste materials which will be converted into value-added product by using the different kind of innovative plantation modules. Renewing energy, wind energy, hydro energy, solar energy, biofuel, whatever the biological material, waste discarded materials will be converted into value addition of products, biofuels, and wastewater, which is discharging from the various industrial sectors. Refuse the use of plastic bags and showing seeds of the change. Make your way to green technology. We are the forefronts for the next future generation. We would like to highlight over here, refusing the materials in such a green model. Responsibility, don't waste electricity, switch off the electrical equipment when not required. Don't waste water, Never leave taps open while brushing or washing dishes. Don't waste fuel. Don't waste food material. Don't cook extra food and throw it away concept. And always keep in mind that there are millions in the world starving for the without food materials. Branches of green technology. So there are 5 number of modules I would like to highlight over here. Green chemistry, green energy, green information technology, green building concept, and followed by the green nanotechnology. Green chemistry, I would like to brief introduction about the green chemistry. In green chemistry, the term green chemistry was coined by the Paul Anastas in the year of 1991. Green chemistry, also called as sustainable chemistry, the invention, design, and application of chemical products and processes to reduce or to eliminate the use of hazardous substances. For example, supercritical carbon dioxide. It is a fluid state of carbon dioxide where it is held above its critical temperature and critical pressure. Carbon dioxide usually behaves as a gas in air at a standard temperature and pressure at STP, or else by the solid called by the dry ice when it is in the frozen condition. It behaves as a supercritical fluid above its critical temperature 304.25 kilowatts kilo and critical pressure at 72.9 atmosphere. What are the uses? It is normally carbon dioxide uses in laboratory. Supercritical carbon dioxide is used as a extraction solvent in determination of total recoverables hydrocarbons from soils, sediments, fly ash, and other media. Supercritical carbon dioxide is used for the remove organochloric pesticides from the agriculture crops without adultering the desired constituents from the plant matter in the herbal supplement industry, especially for the Department of Pharmaceutical Analysis, Pharmaceutical University Xinjiang in China. They are exporting the example models are DDT and dicofol and aldrin. Supercritical carbon dioxide can also be used as a more environmental friendly solvent for dry cleaning purpose. What is the principles of green technology? Principles of green chemistry, preventing of waste, less hazard chemical synthesis, safer chemicals and products, safer solvents and reaction conditions, increase the energy efficiency. There we would like to more focusing on the energy efficiency increasing. We're coming to the design for environment. This is called as the DFE. The Environmental Protection Agency designed for the environment works in partnership with industry, environmental groups, and academia to reduce the risk to the people and environment by finding ways to prevent pollution. What do you mean? DFE has evaluated human health and environmental concerns associated with the traditional and alternative chemical and process in a range of industries. What does the DEF label the meaning? What is Environmental Protection Agency allows safer products to carry the design for the environment. This label enables consumers to quickly identify and choose products that are safer for them, their families, and their environment. When you see the DFE logo on your product, it means that the DFE scientific review team has screened each ingredient for potential human health and environmental effects. Identification of safer chemicals. How we are going to identify the safer chemicals which is available in the market. Green chemicals are marked as a different kind of barcoding activities as well as a symbol green circle. If you look at the slide, you will find the one green circle over here. The chemical is safe to use and does not cause any. The chemical is safe to use and does not cause any harm to human health and environment. Example is citric acid. Green half circle, it indicates the chemical is expected to be of low concern based on experimental and modulated data. Example, asparic acid, monosodium glucoheptone. Yellow triangle, this symbol indicates this chemical has some hazard issues. Example, tarpaulin and methyl benzoate. Gray square, this symbol indicates this chemical will not be acceptable for use in as a product. Example, bis 2-ethyl sodium sulfosuccinate and benzyl alcohol flagged on 20 December 2013 for removal from the list of the solvents. Green energy, whatever the energies which are utilizing at different sources, it will be converted into green aspects. Green energy comes from natural sources such as sunlight, wind, rain, tides, plants, algae, and geothermal heat. These energy resources are renewable energy resources. Types of green energy is solar energy, wind energy, hydro energy, geothermal energy, biofuel, followed by biogas. These types of green energy, I would like to focusing on one individually and a systematic chronological order. Come to first point, solar energy. The solar energy is a conversion of sunlight into electricity, either directly using photovoltaics or indirectly using concentrated solar power. That's called as the CSP. It can be used for pumping water, refrigerator purpose, communication, and charging batteries purposes. In 1955, the first solar car invented was in a tinny 15-inch vehicle created by the William G. Cope of General Motors called as the Sun Mobile. The Samsung India launched the first solar-powered phone, the Solar Guru 1107 model, which allows users to charge the phone anywhere the sun is shining. 1 hour of solar charging gives you 5 to 10 minutes of time to talk. That is only the model which were innovative activity. Solar Road, Netherlands, in November 12th of 2014, unveiled the world's first solar bike. There's a revolutionary project to harvest the sun's energy that could eventually also be used on roads. So-called Solar Road bike path is made of concrete modules, each measuring 2.5 by the 3.5 meter, embedded with the solar panels covered in tempered glass material. To help prevent accidents, the glass has been given a special non-slip surface. At the photograph, which is shown in front of you, you see this is the solar tank. Come to the second part. Second one is the wind energy. Wind turbines converts the kinetic energy into the wind into mechanical power that runs a generator to produce the clean electricity. Wind energy contributes only 1% of global electricity generation. In the year of 1920, BITS showed that the maximum power that may be captured by a wind machine is 59.3% of incoming energy in the wind. The amount of electricity produced by one turbine depends on its size and quality of the wind resources. A typical 2 megawatt turbine, when placed in an appropriate wind resource, can provide enough emissions free electricity to power about 500 average homes for a full year. Come to third one, hydro energy, hydroelectricity. The hydroelectricity uses the energy of running water to make electrical energy. Hydroelectric stations are built where there is a running water is stored. When you look at the photograph which is shown in the slide, the amount of electricity generated is determined by the volume of water and the amount of heat. The height from the turbines in the power plant to the water surface created by the dam, the greater the flow and head, the more electricity is produced in this mechanism. If you look at the slide, you will find the reservoir intaking of the water. With the help of the exhaust fans, they are injecting the water and the turbine is rotating over here. Where from turbines to whatever the produced electricity, the kinetic energy converted into electricity power, the power will be stored at a generator. From generator to the directly sent for the public utility purposes. It's a hydroelectric dam which is shown in the slide. And fifth one is tidal power. The waves are generated by the wind as it is blows across the sea surface. Energy is transferred from the wind to the waves. Wave energy has the potential to be one of the most eco-friendly forms of electricity generation. The first tidal power station was at Rance Tidal Power Plant, built over a period of six years from the 1960 to 1966 at Lawrence in the France country. This is the mechanism how waste heat is going to be generated. The Pelamis is an offshore wave energy converter that uses the motion of waves to generate electricity power. The machine operates in water depths greater than the 50 meters, and it is typically installed 2 to 10 kilometers from the coast. On average, one machine will provide sufficient power to meet the annual electricity demand of approximately 500 homes at one location. Final one is geothermal energy. The term geothermal originates from the two Greek words geo and therm. The Greek word geo means the earth and therm means heat from the earth. Geothermal energy is energy derived from the heat of the earth, interior regions of the earth crust. Biofuel, a fuel made from biological sources like straw, wood waste, sugarcane, and byproducts from agriculture industry. Example, corn, sugarcane, and soya bean, so on. Green information technology. This is the way we would like to utilizing the sources as a green information technology terminology. Green information technology is also called as green computing. It describes the study and the using the computer resources is an efficient way. Green IT starts with the manufacturer producing environmental friendly products and encouraging information technology departments to consider more friendly operations options like visualization, management, and proper recycling habits. Let us see the photograph which is shown in the slides, green building concept. Green building is the practice of increasing the efficiency of building and their use of energy, water, and materials, and reducing building impacts on human health and environment through better design construction, operation followed by the maintenance. Materials used for the green building is less volatile organic compounds, paints, bamboo flooring, woven wool for the carpeting, ecological concrete, which is especially admixture, dicalcium silicate instead of cement, paper insulation panels, etc. Famous green buildings of the world. I would like to highlight some of the examples, so we would like to highlight over here. This is the Bahrain World Trade Center. It is located at Manama. It is the first skyscraper in the world to integrate wind turbines into its design. Look at the photograph which is shown in the slide. The turbines supply about 15% of the electricity used by the skyscraper, approximately the same amount of electricity used by the 300 homes which is inside that plant, inside that skyscraper. Skyscraper farming. It is a futuristic concept, converts a skyscraper into crop farms that could help reducing the global warming, improving the urban environment, and help feed the world's growing population. How it works? A solar panel as well as glass panel. Energy is supplied by the rotating solar panel that follows the sun, drives interior heating and cooling system. Glass panel, clear coating of titanium oxide collects pollutants and makes rain slides down the glass where it is collected and used for the watering. Architecture is a circular design, allows maximum light into the center. Economy, the plan combines farming with office and residential stores. Irrigation, filtered, sterilized wastewater from the sewage system. It can be used for the irrigation purposes. National Library in Singapore. You can look at the photograph which is shown in the slide. A building is oriented away from the east-west sun, combined with the sun shading features on the west face of the building as an additional shield against the solar heat gain. An open area between the two blocks which allows natural ventilation and day lighting. Extensive landscaping and roof gardens are utilized to lower local ambient temperature. Use of rain sensor as part of the automatic irrigation system for rooftop gardening. the residence of Antilia at Mumbai. This is a 70-story, 570-foot tall tower. Tower is a home for a single family, that of Indian Mukesh Ambani. The tower has been designed by the Perkins in the year of 2010. The design is innovative with rooftop gardening. You can look at the photograph which is shown in the slide. India Tower, Mumbai. This is the India Tower, formerly known as the Park Hyatt Tower. 74-story, 301-meter tall mixed use of residential and hotel tower has officially begun construction. There is a 8,82,000 square feet tower has set a number of records ranging from Mumbai tallest to India's first super tall to India's greenest skyscraper. Solar shading, natural ventilation, day lighting, rainwater harvesting, these all are used in this building components. The green nanotechnology. Green nanotechnology. Green nanotechnology refers to the use of nanotechnology to enhance the environmental sustainability of processes producing negative externalities. It also refers to the use of the products of nanotechnology to enhance the sustainability of the product. Let us come to an example. One major project that is being worked on the development of nanotechnology in solar cell. The solar cells are more efficient as they get thinner, and the nanotechnology is already used as a provide improved performance coatings for photovoltaics, PV, and solar thermal panels. The photovoltaics converted with nanotechnology coatings are said to stay cleaner for the longer to ensure the maximum energy efficiency is maintained at all levels. What do you mean here? We would like to rating system, LEED. Leadership in energy and environmental design part. The United States Green Building Council created a program called Leadership in Energy Environmental Design. These are the 5 key areas: sustainable site development, water savings, energy efficiency, material selections, indoor environmental quality. These are 5 components they would like to cover under the category of LEED. Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design, LEED. Then the certifies points 29 to 36 points. Silver is 37 to 43 points grading, and gold is 44 to 57 points. These all are the symbols. The logo should be highlighted over there at their plants. Let us check some examples of environmental friendly constructions and vehicles. The Suzlon Energy Limited, which is located at Pune, Maharashtra. The Suzlon Energy Limited ranked as the world's 5th largest wind turbine supplier. It has been LEED Platinum rated and certified as an eco-friendly building by the Green Building Council. Built to perfection on an area of 41,000 square meter, 10.13 acres of land. Biodiversity. So Biodiversity Conservation in India, India Limited, it's called as the BCIL Bangalore. Biodiversity Conservation India Private Limited is an organization that provides a lifestyle solutions that focus on sustainable methods of creating zero energy homes that will not be a burden for the environment. The company's TZ Homes in Whitefield, Bangalore has been certified as the first residential apartment in the world to be rated as a platinum under LEED. Which TZ, which means towards zero energy development. It is a 2,49,000 square feet of green project spread across 5.5 acres, and it is designed to reduce the lighting and energy by the nearly 70%. Rajiv Gandhi International Airport, the Hyderabad brand ambassador. It is India's first greenfield airport, which is undeniably among the top 10 green buildings in India, and the first airport in Asia to be awarded as a LEED silver rating certification by the United States Green Building Council. It is featuring 105 square meter of glass encased terminal. This green building ensures optimal use of the natural light and minimal wastage of the electricity and energy consumption. At another of its green features, it includes the recycling of treated wastewater for landscaping, air conditioning, and flushing requirements. Nokia Gurgaon, it is located in the state of Haryana. Among India's most sustainable building is the corporate office Nokia in Gurgaon, which has been granted accreditation as one of the world's leading green building by the US Green Building Council, USGBC. It's the lead gold rating company. It is commercial interior fit out project in India. Is being awarded in the green building. What makes the green office and out of the rest is its smart lighting and ventilation systems, high efficiency chillers, high performance double glazing, heat recovery wheel, green guard certified furniture, and online carbon dioxide monitoring system. Online monitoring system. You look at the photograph which is shown in the slide. ITC Green Center, which is located again at Gurgaon, Haryana state. It is considered as one of the early adopters of the green building movement in India. ITC Green Center is still considered as a benchmark for the green buildings. It was the first platinum rated building in India. It's a built up area, 1,80,000 square feet. The building features alternative transportation facilities, stormwater management system, solar thermal technology, minimal exterior lighting, separate smoking rooms with exhaust systems, and zero water discharge is the highlighted over here. The Druk White Lotus School, that is at Ladakh, it is in this desert landscape serves a climatic condition 3,500 meters above the sea level, which was born in a modest school that is adjusted as an outstanding example of sustainable green, cost-effective building development concept. This multi-award winning structure is a recipient of the Best Asian Model, Best Asian Building, Best Education Building, and Best Green Building Awards, which is rated by this model. In the La Cushion Solar, this is at Aurovelli in Tamil Nadu state. You will find the buildings in the country. Solar kitchen at Aurovelli that best demonstrates the use of the solar energy to produce the steam. It is around 1700 square meter. Kitchen is named thus because of the huge 115 diameter solar bowl that has been fixed at the top of the structure to harvest the solar energy frequently. It is on a clear day, and this green structure can generate enough steam at a temperature of 150 degrees centigrade that can be used to cook meals for 1,000 people 3 times in a day. That is the innovative material. Bryant Park Tower gets LEED Platinum certification. World first office tower to reach the United States green building concept highest rating pattern. Is the Volkswagen successfully test the hydrogen vehicle in long range drive. The Volkswagen recently successfully tested its Bora. It is a hydrogen vehicle. That means it uses the sun fuel system. The main features are a clean synthetic diesel called as the sun fuel. It has one of the lowest emissions of any car in the world. Green Resources and Organizations, Environmental Protection Agency, and the Green Power Partnership, Energy Stars, and GGEC, US Green Building Council, USGBC. What are the policies for the green technology so far in India? National policies for green technology in India. New Renewable Energy Plan 2011 to 2017, Electricity Act 2003 amended in the year of subsequently 2004 and 2007. National Biofuel Mission 2003. The Government of India approved the national policy on biofuels in December 2009. The Jawaharlal Nehru National Solar Mission was launched on the 11th of January 2010 onwards. Through these provisions, India aims to meet 20% of the country total requirement of energy. So, country's total requirement of energy from renewable sources by 2020. Institutes, agencies under the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, Government of India. These are following institutes are working under the control of MNRE. National Institute Solar Energy, that is located at Gurgaon, Haryana. Center for Wind Energy Technology, CWET, that is located at Chennai, Tamil Nadu State. NIRE, Sardar Swaran Singh National Institute of Energy, Renewable Energies, Jalandhar, Punjab State, Alternative Hydro Energy Center, AHEC, IIT Roorkee Campus, Uttarakhand, the Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency, New Delhi, Solar Energy Corporation of India, SECI, which is located at New Delhi. These all are the subsidiary institutes under the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, Government of India. These all are the references which has been mentioned over here. US Green Building Council, Green Chemistry and Environmental Friendly Technologies, and Manager User Files, Biofuel Policy, PDF. These all are the references. This is a word I would like to quote over here. Stop polluting the environment with the present technologies. Switch to the green technologies. Green technology, whatever the pollutant which they are going to discharging into the atmosphere, it will be converted into green technology. The way ahead for the green technologies, very shortly it is going to be launched by the Minister of MNRE. Green technology everywhere. The green concept should be highlighted over here. There is a 3Rs concept I would like to highlight: reuse, reduce, recycle, protect the environment and enrich the life cycle. Protect the environment with all hands together and come forward for the converted into whatever the pollutants into converted into greenable activity pathway. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, sir. Now we will move
Thank
on
you,
to the
Soumya.
question and answer rounds. So we have received a few questions. Our first question is, what are the funding opportunities for new entrepreneurs? Any one of the speaker can answer.
Yeah, Koteshwar sir.
Yes, sir. As per
Can you,
the funding concern regarding to the solar energy, MNRE, Ministry of New Renewable Energy Development, Ministry of MNRE, and followed by the respective state zones. State channelizing agencies like Telangana State Renewable Energy Development Corporation, they are going to avail the financial support for the installation of the solar panels at their respective houses or residential complexes with the lower costs. Soumya.
Thank you, sir. Ramchandra sir, would you like to add something to it?
yeah, this is particularly solar or any just startup business?
It's startup, sir. What are the funding opportunities for new entrepreneurs?
Yeah, many, as Koteshwar Rao sir mentioned, that is particularly solar related. So for any startups, we have Startup India and Stand Up India from Government of India. As all the details you can also get from NIMSME as well as NSIC. So there are many, what we can say, many funding agencies are there. That depending on the size of the business and capital investment. Yeah, that's what I would like to mention.
Thank you, sir.
I think
So,
also, can I add something?
Yeah,
yes,
yes,
sir.
sir.
Can I add something? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
correct,
sir.
sir.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, yeah, funding, even the Ministry of Science and Technology, apart from MNRE have a budget for this.
Yeah,
Encourage
exactly.
startups. So I think even the state nodal agencies, they have a certain budget. So we'll have to, of course, approach them. Startups, and also for entrepreneurs, there is a budget. You see, in
Yes.
terms of outright grants or even soft loans, interest subvention. And I think a whole lot of opportunity.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next question, I think it's on the same line as the previous one, sir. The someone says that I would like to start business on the solar products. What help can I get from you and the government?
Yeah. Definitely, we will help from our side as well as NIMSME also. So, what are the product you are identified to do manufacturing or assembling or marketing? So, based on that, we'll discuss in future. Uh,
And I think I would request people
Sir.
also look at MNRE website, Department of Science and Technology website. So I think you start. You also please go and interact with the TS, Medco, what do you call them? The state nodal agency. If you're here
Yeah,
in
yes.
Telangana state. I think there are a lot of funding opportunities which, we
Sir, your voice is not audible, sir.
Mhm.
not audible.
Not audible.
Yeah, now it's okay, sir.
Is
Yeah,
it better
but
now?
it is actually breaking. Your voice is breaking in between while you're talking.
Okay. Can I try again?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure, sir.
it's okay.
See, what I'm saying is there are plenty of opportunities.
Mm.
Now you can go and interact with any official in MNRE. They welcome you. Look at the website first. Go to the state nodal agency. Talk to them. If possible, also look up various websites.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So somebody
Sir,
wants
can
to
I add
find
some more, sir?
Solar
Soumya.
Power,
Sir.
I
Yes,
think,
sir.
sorry, yeah. Solar car, I think our friend Ramchandra is the specialist on that.
Sir, Soumya.
Yes, sir.
Apart from that, as per the whatever the Dr. Colonel, Dr. Surendra sir and Ramchandra sir, whatever they are given now. Apart from that, I would like to add some more
Yes,
in the Department of Science and Technology. The persons who are carry out the
yes, sir.
research works, especially for the green technologies, there is a separate wing. They recently started. They would like to highlight the financial support, extend the financial support for the researchers and those who would like to carry out the studies, research aspects, and promoting the green energy tech prints, which is easy for them to avail the financial support under the Department of Science and Technology and the Department of Industrial. And that is all are the Ministry of Science and Technology. They will extend financial support for the entrepreneurs and existing workers, those who would like to carry out the works. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Due to the time constraint,
Yeah.
we will not be able to take up any further questions.
Okay.
And all the participants who are asking for the PPTs and the information shared during the presentation to be sent to their respective mails, I would like to tell all the participants, all the information will be shared on our website. You can, after the webinar is over, you can go and check all the material that is shared there. Also, the recording of the webinars are shared on our YouTube channel. You can check that also. And for any other queries you have, you can mail us at info@nimsme.org. And for upcoming webinars also, please keep checking our website. All the information is uploaded there. So on that note, I'll like to thank all the speakers for their valuable inputs and request Mr. Rao to please give the vote of thanks.
Thank you.
Sir, please.
Thank you, Soumya. It's a great privilege to me to propose vote of thanks for the webinar. Green business opportunities in green technologies post COVID-19. We would like to highlight the activities given by the presentation by the Colonel Dr. Surendra Saab, advisor, Sorbi Institute of Renewable Energy, Begumpet, Hyderabad. And sir, thank you, sir. Thank you for within the span of time. So thank you for your valuable presentation, insight about the whatever the new technologies which is available in the market. And also, I would like to extend my wholehearted, sincere thanks to the Ramchandra sir, BVR8 Associate Professor, Triple E Department. Sir is highlighting his presentation, Power Sector at a Glance in All India, Wake Up Call for the Solar Industry, concentrating on the manufacturing sector, what are the business opportunities for the electrical vehicle makers, market size of electrical vehicle components, Indian industry concept, solar plus storage system to see the major boost in the renewable energy market. Thank you, sir. Ramchandra sir for giving extraordinary presentation to attract the participants to highlight our webinar. And also thanks to the Soumya who has a moderator for this webinar and extended her support during the making a grand success of this webinar. And also I would like to highlight some of the activities offered by the NIMSME. With the support of involvement, active participation of all the national and state government, association, professionals, patrons, and the stakeholders from the MSME sector in India. Today, I have received the 95 number of participants for this particular webinar. Today, India emerged as a global leader in green buildings and the built environment. We had hosted a number of webinars and virtual interactive sessions for the benefit of our participants and members of NIMSME, which has added more value and benefited every participant. We hope you might have enjoyed a lot to attend the webinar for enriching the discussion and look forward to receiving your registration at the earliest. As limited seats are limited in the forum, that's the reason we got a very less number of actions. In this regard, we would like to request you to take advantage of this green technologies training program, which is offered by the NIMSME very shortly, nominating suitable officials from your respective organization. For any assistance queries in this webinar, please feel free to contact us. My mobile number is been already given by our moderator, and looking forward to your participation in this unique training programs at our campus. Thank you for giving opportunity by our respective Director General and all our faculty members who have supported directly and indirectly. Thank you one and all. Soumya?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. On this note, we
Thank
will
you.
end the webinar.